Oh boy, was this video a nightmare to make. On top of Amazon taking forever to send me my stupid cake pan, my oven decided to be a little less than cooperative and was giving me temperatures far below what I had set it to. I was able to get it fixed up thankfully, and in the intervening time, I was even able to do some research. As last time, I think those muffins I made, they didn't quite rise as much as I thought they would have, and there was a reason behind that. Apparently it had to do with my flour. I used cake flour in accordance with the recipe, but apparently that wasn't quite enough. You see, in Japan, they use a bit more of a UK style flour, which makes sense since Japan's yoshoku or Western influenced cooking is more based around European cuisine. Their flour tends to rise more and produce fluffier pastries, while we in the US produce flours that are more meant for dense baked goods like biscuits or pancakes. I would say the muffins I ended up baking did taste more like pancakes, but as much as I like pancakes, that's not what we're looking for here. I won't make that same mistake again, and in fact, even though it's not included in the recipe, I am going to augment a cup of cake flour with 1 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Hopefully, things should work out a little bit better this time, but we'll see as we enter the true episode 1 of this baking series with Ichika's Rabbit Shortcake. Starting off with the sponge cake itself, we're going to be using 2 room temperature eggs, 60 grams of sugar, 2 teaspoons of milk, 60 grams of our augmented cake flour, and 20 grams of melted butter. Now, if this all looks like not a whole lot of ingredients, that's only because it is, but we'll discuss that more in just a bit. For now though, we're just going to combine the eggs and the sugar. Using my hand mixer, I just blended them until they were combined and then moved the whole thing to my stove where a frying pan filled with simmering water awaited. The idea here is that the hot water is going to help loosen up the eggs' protein, making them easier to beat air into. I even brought these eggs to room temperature just to give them a head start. By the way, this camera angle was a pain to record. Once the egg mixture came to just about body temperature, I took it off the heat to avoid making sweet scrambled eggs and continued to mix things up. As soon as this mixture achieved this nice little velvety texture, I switched to my whisk. I mixed in the milk and then again switched my tools, this time to my spatula. I'm only doing this because the recipe calls for it. Next up was the flour. I just sifted in about half of it, folded it in, and then the other half. Last, the butter. I just used my spatula to help guide it and evenly spread it throughout my batter. Just gonna fold that in too. With that, it was finally time to break out my pan. I already lined the bottom with some parchment paper, and now I'm just gonna line the sides by using some of the leftover butter to act as a glue to hold the parchment in place. Pour in your batter, and into a 325-degree oven it goes for about 20 to 25 minutes. 25 minutes later and we're golden. I just gently remove the cake from the pan and then let it cool down for another 20 minutes. Now, most sponge cake recipes out there would use at least double the amount of ingredients we did here so as to fill at least 2 to 3 pans. After all, most cakes are meant to have multiple layers. Ours will too, as we're just going to horizontally cut this slightly taller than normal cake down the middle. Just gonna put that top half aside for now, and now it's time for decoration. Considering we're making strawberry shortcake, obviously we're going to need a certain red fruit. For this recipe, I do recommend frozen strawberries as they're smaller and bite-sized, which is just perfect for our cake. They're also absolutely delicious. Recipe calls for 300 grams, but you're not gonna need that much at all. But hey, at least you're gonna have something to snack on afterwards. We'll also need the standard 200 milliliters of heavy whipping cream and 1.5 tablespoons of sugar to go with that. We're also going to need some strawberry jam, and these stupid chocolate pens. Hopefully they'll be a little bit more cooperative today. But first we gotta whip up this cream. Now we could turn to the hand mixer again, but I say it's time we brought out the big guns. I also chilled the bowl and the whisk in the freezer just to help things whip up easier. Now just throw in your cream and sugar and turn on the power. Once it reaches to just solid enough to be scoopable, we're going to reserve about a third of that for the top of the cake. And just whip the remainder until we achieve soft peaks. Just gonna put this in a piping bag with a star tip and we're all set to go. Take the bottom half of the cake and basically draw a bullseye into it. Bullseye. Sorry for using that clip, but I just had to. Just a couple of circles and a center and we're good. Fill in the space in between with these lovely red jewels and hey, what the heck, more cream on top. Sandwich this with the top half of the cake and spread the slightly less whipped cream on top. And same as last time, I tried drawing in a pattern of a rabbit on top of the cake with a toothpick. Again, not easy drawing through whipped cream, but whatever, I think I got something. I then used my piping bag to squirt in something that looked like a rabbit pattern, then filled that in. And now comes the chocolate pens. I went with the pink one first, made sure it would come out right, and yeah, still no luck. It was still kind of coming out thick like molding clay. which gave me an idea. Ha! So I just used that to give him some earlobes and then got out the jam. This time I used a regular old plastic bag as my piping bag, and I probably cut the hole a little bit too big. I was supposed to draw in a ribbon, but oh well, just try to smooth that out. Last, the brown chocolate pen, which surprisingly came out a lot cleaner and just needed to draw in little dots for the eyes and nose. A few more strawberries on the side to make things look nice, and you know what? In spite of that jam accident, I think it came out pretty well. So just gonna cut myself off a piece and, oh, would you look at all those strawberries and cream. As for taste, yeah, we got a winner. The cake was a little dense for my taste, but it still tasted good, and I get a little strawberry and cream in every bite, so who's complaining? In fact, I think I'm just gonna go to the side and finish off this slice. Oh, and I'm also taking this with me. Overall, I really like this recipe. I mean, last time I complained about the muffins being a little bit too simple, but this time I think simplicity worked in this recipe's favor. I used barely any ingredients, but it still came out tasty. I especially love the strawberry arrangement. I probably wouldn't use this exact same recipe for a party or something, as there's barely enough to go around, but triple it up and use some more traditional wide pans, and yeah, I could see this producing a pretty good cake. Well, that's all I have for today. Next time we'll take a crack at Himari's squirrel pudding. And until then though, farewell for now my friends, and you know, I think I'm just gonna go buy some special traps for next time, just in case.